She used to fetch lattes, carry bags, and silently suffer in stilettos, but now she owns the room. The cold glance, the sharp heels, the silence that screams power. Emily Charlton is no longer in Miranda Priestly's shadow, she is the storm. And now, The Devil Wears Prada 2 is not just a rumor. It's real. And Emily Blunt is making the kind of comeback no one saw coming, for years. Fans whispered about it, hoping that one day the doors of Runway magazine would open again, that the sharp click of heels would echo down those pristine hallways, and that the icy voice of Miranda Priestly might return to demand. That's all. But what started as fan dreams has now turned into a headline. The Devil Wears Prada 2 is officially in the works. And yes, Emily Blunt is back. The confirmation came from a trusted Hollywood insider and was quickly picked up by major entertainment outlets. According to reports, the studio behind the original film 20th Century Studios is finally moving forward with the long-awaited sequel. Talks had been going on quietly behind closed doors for months. But now, the green light has been given. Scripts are being finalized, and filming is expected to begin in early 2026. That means fashion, power, and drama will return to the big screen sooner than we think. So, why now? Why bring back The Devil Wears Prada after nearly 2 decades? The answer might lie in how the original film still lives in pop culture. Young viewers on TikTok quote Miranda's cold lines like scripture. Instagram fashion pages still break down every look from the movie. And fans have always asked the same burning question, what happened to Emily Charlton? Well, we're finally getting answers. And the first big reveal? Emily Blunt has signed on to reprise her role as the driven, sharp-tongued assistant who once collapsed from stress and starvation on the streets of Paris. Only this time, she's not chasing approval, she's calling the shots. The first film ended with Andy Sachs walking away from Runway and Emily recovering from her injuries. But life doesn't stay paused. The sequel picks up years later, in a world where fashion has changed. But Power Games haven't. Behind the scenes, there's more reason to be excited. Ellen Brosh McKenna, the screenwriter of the first film, is rumored to be returning to write the sequel script. If that's true, we can expect more of that smart, biting dialogue that made every scene feel like a battlefield in high heels. Also involved are key producers from the original film names who understand the tone, the tempo, and the tension of this stylish universe. But what about the rest of the cast? Right now, only Emily Blunt has been officially confirmed. That alone has lit up the internet. Fans are thrilled to see her return to the role that launched her Hollywood career. From the moment she stepped on screen in that tight ponytail and British accent, Emily became a breakout star. Now, she's returning with more screen power, more experience, and a character who has likely evolved in ways we can't yet imagine. There are also rumors, strong ones, that Meryl Streep has been approached to reprise her role as Miranda Priestly. Though not yet confirmed, sources say talks are hopeful. And let's be honest, without Miranda, the fashion world just wouldn't be the same. If Meryl returns, we could be witnessing a power clash between two fashion titans. The old guard and the new Dot. As for Anne Hathaway, her return is still uncertain. She has spoken in the past about feeling like the story was complete, but with the right script and the right emotional arc, anything is possible. One thing's for sure, the sequel doesn't need to retell the past. It's moving forward. And Emily Blunt is leading the charge. This confirmation isn't just about nostalgia. It's about transformation. The first film was about survival in a cutthroat world. The sequel promises something different. What happens when the survivor becomes the queen? She used to chase taxis, trip on cobblestones, and carry designer bags that weighed more than her paycheck. But the Emily Charlton we're about to see? She's not running after anyone anymore. She walks in and the world moves for her. The Devil Wears Prada 2 isn't just bringing back a character. It's resurrecting a woman who clawed her way back from the edge of humiliation and turned pain into power. And Emily Blunt is ready to show us how far her character has come. Let's rewind, just for a moment. In the original film, Emily Charlton was the first assistant to the legendary Miranda Priestly. Sharp-tongued, neurotic, and hopelessly overworked. Emily did everything to keep her place in the glamorous world of fashion, even if it meant ignoring her health, her friendships, and sometimes her dignity. She was intense, ambitious, and bitterly loyal to Miranda. Until it all fell apart, she didn't get to go to Paris. She was hit by a car. Her replacement, Andy Sachs, took her chance at fashion heaven, and worst of all, Emily was expected to just accept it, to recover quietly and move on like nothing happened. But anyone who watched closely knew Emily wasn't broken. She was angry, she was humiliated, and she was silently planning her comeback. That comeback is what The Devil Wears Prada 2 is now promising to deliver. This is not just Emily picking up where she left off. This is a woman who's reinvented herself. According to early plot leaks and speculation, Emily Charlton is no longer someone's assistant. She's now at the top of her game, a senior executive. Maybe even the editor-in-chief of her own fashion magazine. Or possibly Miranda Priestly's new rival. Imagine that. Emily, once the junior employee who lived off almonds and ambition, now making million-dollar decisions. Walking into meetings flanked by assistants of her own. Setting trends instead of chasing them. She's no longer the sharp voice on the other end of a call. She is the call, and it makes perfect sense. Emily Blunt herself has grown into one of Hollywood's most respected and versatile actresses. Since the original movie, she's delivered stunning performances in action, drama, comedy, and even musicals. She's proven that she can command the screen with elegance, power, and precision. Bringing that energy back to this character means one thing: we're getting a new kind of fashion icon. One who doesn't beg, one who doesn't apologize. One who owns her space. What's even more exciting is the emotional depth this return could carry. Emily's character was never explored as deeply as Andy's in the first film. But now there's room. What did she go through after her fall from grace? How did she rebuild her confidence? Did she forgive Miranda? Or does she still carry that bitterness beneath her flawless designer coat? This is where The Devil Wears Prada 2 has the chance to shine. Because the most powerful characters are the ones who've been through hell and climbed their way back. Emily Charlton may look fierce and flawless, but underneath that polished exterior is a story of resilience, ambition, and hard-earned control. There's also a major theme emerging from this comeback: transformation. The fashion world is always evolving, and so are the people inside it. Emily isn't just older now, she's wiser. She understands how to play the game, maybe even better than Miranda did. And if Miranda does return, we may not see a mentor-mentee reunion. We could be looking at a showdown between two women who shaped each other and now stand on equal ground. This dynamic sets up a story filled with drama, emotion, and high-stakes fashion politics. Emily's rise could challenge everything Miranda built, or maybe they'll be forced to work together against a bigger threat like a new digital fashion empire or a ruthless investor looking to modernize the industry. Either way, Emily's role is no longer about surviving. It's about leading, and fans are here for it. Social media exploded the moment Emily Blunt's return was confirmed. People aren't just excited to see her again, they're invested. In her journey, they want to know what she's been through. They want to see her stand tall, not just in heels, but in confidence. This isn't just a comeback for Emily Charlton. It's a statement. You can't keep a strong woman down forever. Not in fashion. Not in film? And certainly not in The Devil Wears Prada 2, you know the power of a picture. One single image can say more than 1,000 lines of dialogue. And when that first look of Emily Blunt as Emily Charlton in The Devil Wears Prada 2 dropped, it didn't whisper, it roared. It wasn't just fashion. It was attitude. And if you look closely enough, that photo told us everything we need to know about where this sequel is headed. Let's break it down. Frame by frame, the image shows Emily standing alone, but she doesn't look lonely. She looks untouchable. She's wearing a dark, tailored suit, not flashy, but impossibly sharp, power in fabric form. A high-collar coat, rich in texture, with an angular silhouette that screams precision. Her posture? Straight, still, unshaken. Her eyes? Locked forward, piercing through the camera lens as if daring anyone to challenge her. There's no uncertainty in her stance. No hesitation in her expression. She's not asking for approval. She is the approval dot, and yet it's not just what she's wearing, it's where she's standing. Behind her, a modern glass office with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking a skyline. Not the chaotic office floor of Runway magazine. Not Miranda's icy inner sanctum. This is a new kingdom. One that feels like it belongs entirely to Emily. That location tells us something crucial. She's not at someone else's company anymore. She's likely at the top of her own empire. Whether she's running a rival magazine, launching a fashion tech startup, or heading an entire brand of her own, we don't know for sure. But what's obvious is that Emily has climbed. And she's not coming back to the world of fashion to play nice. There's also a subtle but powerful detail in the photo. On the desk beside her is a framed photograph. It's blurry, not the focus. But fans who zoomed in and enhanced the image believe it's a picture of her with two other women. One of them appears to be Miranda Priestly, older now, possibly gray-haired but still elegant. The other? A younger woman, unknown. Or possibly Andy Sachs. This could hint at Emily's past still being present in her life. Or it could suggest an emotional arc we haven't yet seen: loyalty, rivalry, or unfinished business. Even more intriguing is what's missing from the photo. No phone in her hand, no assistant behind her. No distractions, it's just Emily and the moment. That silence tells a story. She's not scrambling to please anyone anymore. She's the one making people scramble. Her character now operates from stillness, not stress. From confidence, not chaos. The styling of the photo itself is rich in symbolism. Notice the deep shadows around the edges. They draw your eye directly to her face. The color tones are cool and clean like steel. That's not by accident. This isn't just about looking good. It's about control. Emily is no longer a victim of fashion's ruthless pace. She is the pace. And what about the eyeshadow, the hair, the expression? All carefully chosen. Her makeup is bold yet minimalist, dark eyeliner, no glitter. Her hair is pulled back in a tight bun, a callback to her original look, but now neater, stronger, more sculpted. Even her earrings are sharp silver blades catching the light. The message is clear. Elegance has replaced desperation. She's polished, but dangerous. Fashion insiders were quick to weigh in. One magazine editor said, "This image doesn't just tease a film, it declares a takeover." Emily Charlton isn't back in the game. She owns the game now. Social media lit up with breakdowns of her outfit, her shoes, and even the color palette of the background. Everyone's searching for clues. What brand is she wearing? Is it Runway's rival? Is she standing in her own headquarters? Is this a fashion war about to explode? Some eagle-eyed fans even noted that in the reflection of the glass behind her, there seems to be a shadow, someone watching her. It's faint. But in a movie like this, no visual is ever meaningless. Could it be Miranda lurking in the background? Or a new character, perhaps a younger version of Emily, now working under her, repeating history? This first look isn't just a teaser, it's a promise. A promise that the sequel won't just follow the same storyline. It's stepping into new territory. Grown up, grittier, sharper. Emily Charlton isn't there to support the main character anymore. She is the main character. And every part of that photo tells us she's here to take the throne. Fans have already started making memes, edits, and posters based on the image. Some are calling it the Queen's Return. Others say it's the Miranda 2.0 arc. Whatever you call it, one thing is clear. This isn't just about fashion. It's about legacy. It's about power. And it's about a woman who was once overlooked, now commanding the spotlight like she was born in it. Asterisk, power doesn't stay silent for long. And in the world of high fashion, silence often means strategy. The Devil Wears Prada 2 isn't just about pretty clothes or stylish office drama. No, the sequel is shaping up to be a full-blown power shift. And if the rumors and hints are true, we're not just getting a story about Emily Charlton's rise. We're about to witness the collision of two empires, one built on tradition, the other on revenge. So what will this new story look like? Let's start with the strongest theory floating through fan circles and film insiders. Emily Charlton has built her own fashion empire, something sleek, modern, and digital first. Think cutting-edge fashion mixed with media influence, tech partnerships, and global reach. In a world where print magazines are fading, Emily may have jumped ahead of the curve. She might now be the head of a powerful, trend-setting online fashion brand that speaks directly to the next generation, but success doesn't come without enemies. And this theory suggests Miranda Priestly, yes, the queen of old-school elegance, isn't done yet. Despite her age, Miranda may still be running runway or perhaps sitting at the top of a larger fashion conglomerate. She sees Emily not as a daughter or a student, but as a threat. The girl she once groomed has now become her rival. And in fashion, rivals don't share the spotlight. This sets up the perfect dramatic core: Emily versus Miranda, mentor turned enemy. Legacy versus innovation. The old rules versus the new game. But the drama might not stop there. Another major theory suggests that The Devil Wears Prada 2 will introduce a third force, someone younger, hungrier, and more dangerous. A new assistant or rising star, similar to how Andy Sachs once was. Someone caught between Emily's world and Miranda's. This newcomer could be the wild card. Someone who begins as a pawn but slowly becomes the ultimate player. Will Emily see herself in this young talent? Will she fear being replaced the way she once replaced others? The emotional tension could be off the charts. And speaking of Andy Sachs, what if she returns? This theory is more delicate but deeply compelling. Andy may have left runway behind for a quieter life, but maybe the fashion world pulls her back in. Perhaps she's a journalist now, writing a tell-all book about her time at Runway. Or maybe she becomes the unlikely bridge between Miranda and Emily, two women who are now too proud to speak to each other. If Anne Hathaway does return, her role could be less about fashion and more about truth. A character who remembers everything, including how both women once underestimated her. But here's where things get really interesting. Some believe this sequel won't be about revenge at all, but about survival. The fashion industry is changing. Fast, artificial intelligence, virtual influencers, sustainability wars, brands falling overnight due to scandal. There's a real chance the film leans into these themes, using Emily and Miranda as symbols of two different eras trying to survive in a brutal, ever-evolving world. The villain might not be a person, it might be time itself. And if they want to stay relevant, they might have to do the one thing they swore they'd never do. Team up. Can you imagine that scene? Emily and Miranda face to face, not in anger, not in silence, but in reluctant partnership. The queen and her former subject sitting in the same war room, forced to combine their brilliance to stop something bigger than both of them. Maybe a tech CEO trying to buy and gut their brands. Maybe a fashion scandal involving their shared past. Or maybe something even more personal. There's also talk of emotional growth. Emily Charlton was once cold, sharp, and hungry. But now she might have to lead a team, mentor others, choose between power and people. Does she protect her staff or sacrifice them like she was once sacrificed? And what happens when ambition and ethics finally collide? And if Miranda does return, we may see a softer side. Not weak, but human. A woman who regrets some of her past, but refuses to apologize for her strength. A woman watching the world shift under her feet. While her legacy hangs in the balance, will Miranda and Emily destroy each other, or will they rebuild what was broken? One leaked concept suggests a Paris Fashion Week showdown. The biggest show in the world. Emily and Miranda both launching their own lines, competing, judging, manipulating behind the scenes. And then an unexpected twist. A young designer collapses under the pressure, a scandal breaks. And suddenly they're reminded of why they both started in this world to begin with. The art, the creativity. The love of fashion that once united them, that kind of emotional pivot could transform this sequel from a simple follow-up to something unforgettable. But one thing is certain. The Devil Wears Prada 2 isn't just a stylish sequel. It's a battlefield. And whether it ends with a catwalk or a cold goodbye, Emily Blunt's return guarantees one thing. We're in for the most glamorous war cinema has ever seen.